Hello everybody, welcome to my top 10 best films of 2017. And yes, 10 like Ty Dillinger, I had to do the 10 thing. But anyway, it is time to go over the best films that helped me get through the year. There were a lot of good films this year, even though it wasn't as great as last year. This year still had some pretty good gems. So now, with that being said, it is time to go through my honorable mentions. And oh boy, I'm already ready for the comments, so here we go. Starting on my honorable mentions, I have 10 of them. The Founder, Captain Underpants, the first epic movie.
Nice.
Wonder Woman, Detroit, the Lego Batman movie, John Wick 2, Baby Driver, Thor Ragnarok. Austin, if you thought Baby Driver, me not having Baby Driver on my list was that. Blade Runner 2049 is on my mentions. And finally, Silence. Let's get into my best films of 2017. Here we go.
Number 10.
Starting off with my number 10 film of 2017, Apes on Horses 2, also known as War of the Planet of the Apes. God, this was a great ending to a thrilling conclusion to the series. What a great trilogy ender, and you had Woody Harrelson in this movie as the main villain. Caesar once again looking strong as Caesar, and this is a phenomenal film that you guys need to see. It perfectly wraps up the trilogy in a nice bow, and it has a great ending for the trilogy as a whole. You can't go wrong with this movie. It is such a phenomenal film. That's why War for the Planet of the Apes is my number 10.
Number 9.
Number 9 for me is my favorite Marvel film of the year, Spider-Man Homecoming. I love Spider-Man Homecoming, especially when I first saw it in theaters, seeing the new Tobey Maguire, the new Spider-Man, Tom Holland, as the brand new Spider-Man, combating the life of high school and being Spider-Man at the same time, and also facing off against the Vulture, which is the best villain of the year. Thank you, Michael Keaton, for being...
Well, villain for the MCU.
For the MCU, yeah. He's the best villain for the MCU this year. This was a phenomenal film, nonetheless. It had such great action scenes. You also had a little bit of cameo from Robert Downey Jr. in it, too. So, you can't really go wrong with this movie. It had such a great conclusion to it. The story's great. I cannot wait for the next one, which is Spider-Man Prom Night or something. Is that what the next film is?
Really? That's what it's called?
The next Spider-Man I cannot wait for, and then also can't wait for Infinity War next year. But with that being said, that's why Spider-Man Homecoming is my number 9.
Number 8.
Number 8 for me is the most underappreciated film of the year. A film not many people saw, but you know what? This film needs more attention. It's this actor's best performance since one of my top favorite films of the decade, and that is Stronger. It is Jake Gyllenhaal's best performance as the Boston Marathon survivor who had both his legs blown off. He now is a hero pretty much for being able to find the terrorists, and now mainly his movie is trying to live life, getting back in rehab and being able to live his life again. And this is such a phenomenal movie. If it wasn't for one character, this would be a masterpiece. But, you know, this was such a great film and not many people saw this year. Unfortunately, it bombed, which I really am disappointed about. But I definitely think Jake Gyllenhaal should get nominated for Best Actor for this role. He definitely deserves it. It's time. And he did something that's really, really, really good this year. Especially in the pregnancy in the car. That scene reminded me a little bit of the mirror scene in Nightcrawler. If you have not seen this movie, go watch online or go buy the DVD. It is definitely worth your time. That's why it's my number 8.
Number 7.
Number 7 for me this year was the one film that was very close to being a masterpiece, but was just a little bit off. But you know what? This was still a great directorial debut, and that is Get Out. I absolutely loved Get Out. It is such a phenomenal film. It is a brand new take on the horror genre. It is such a fantastic way to really produce really show an issue that hasn't been brought about, but it definitely provides a spin on social commentary as well. The actors in this movie are fantastic, especially Big Rob, the security guy, who's the main guy's best friend. He was hilarious, probably the best part in the entire movie. It's just, how can you not like Get Out this year? It was one of those films that completely took everybody by surprise. And it was one of the best films of the entire year. Nonetheless, this definitely should be getting some Oscar buzz. I cannot wait to see Jordan Peele do more.
Number 6.
Now time to get my 10s of the year. All my films I've ranked 10 out of 10 or higher. Starting off with number 6 is the sequel to a film that came out a few years ago. And I think pretty much everyone knows what this is at this point. It's Star Wars The Last Jedi. Yes, Yes, I cannot wait. Been waiting for this movie. It is such a phenomenal film. This is one of my masterpieces of the year. You have great characters, great stories. I do not want to get into spoilers here, but it definitely is one of those films that you should definitely go see and definitely get the full experience out of it. It is one of those films that you really cannot miss this year. It is a financial success. It had all the great actors were in it. Like, pretty much everyone. There was no bad spots in this movie. How could you go wrong with Star Wars The Last Jedi? That's why it's my number 6.
Number 5.
Now we're into the top 5 here. And this is a film I actually saw today, but you know what? This is a film I absolutely nonetheless, and that is The Shape of Water. This is such a fantastic movie. Nonetheless, Guillermo del Toro did a fantastic job directing this movie. All the actors were great. Octavia Spencer. I'm trying to remember the main girl's name.
Oh, Sally Hawkins.
Sally Hawkins. Michael Shannon. This was such a phenomenal movie from start to finish. This is one of those films that is revolutionary. It has a very classic story to it, but it has a whole new twist to it. It is such a beautiful looking film. Just the story it tells from start to finish is one of those films that you cannot forget. And this was my top 5 of the year because it is a masterpiece. It is an absolute masterpiece, and I definitely think you are missing out if you haven't seen this film. That's why it's my number 5.
Number 4.
This is a film that many people have recommended to me, but you know what? I was like, I guess I'll wait to see it. But I went to finally go see it after work one day, and I was very happy that I saw this film. Number 4 for me is 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. I absolutely loved 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. And yeah, it is a long title, so I will be saying it a lot. But pretty much the main star of this movie, and who I think should win the Best Actress of the Year for the Oscars, is Frances McDormand. She was incredible in this movie. And Mark McDonagh for Best Director is also something I want to see this year for the Oscars because... And screenplay, of course. You can't go wrong with screenplay. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is a very, very interesting movie. It has a great story, great acting, and also Sam Rockwell for Best Supporting Actor.
Yes,
You can't go wrong with that. It is one of those films that I was like, I might as well wait to see it. I could wait to see it. But you know what? I was glad I took a chance with this movie, and I went to go see it in theaters. I was not disappointed. Go see this movie in theaters. It is a phenomenal film. You'll not regret it.
Number 3.
Now we're in the top 3. The top 3 films I kept shuffling around almost all year. One movie was my number 1, and then another movie was, and then another movie was. I kept switching around throughout the entire year, but this is the final 3 films that I came up with. My number 3 is the conclusion to a great film series and a great acting career for this one character in particular. It is Logan. Logan, for me, was the best way for Hugh Jackman to end his Wolverine tenure. It is one of those films that you cannot ignore of how great this film was. Logan was a coup de grace of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine tenure. It was phenomenal. Everyone in this movie was phenomenal. X-23, Patrick Stewart, all the main characters in the movie were great. And how the movie ends, I was crying at the end because of how beautiful that ending was. It is an ending that you'll not forget this year. And that movie, Logan, it is going to stand the test of time. It is one of those films that is so phenomenal, but unfortunately the Oscars might not give it the credit it deserves. But this film is in my number 3 for the main reasons why I said it before. So that's why Logan is my number 3.
Number 2.
Between number 2 and number 1, I literally came down to this the very last minute for the decision on what I was going to put as my number 1 and number 2. But I feel happy with my rankings. Number 2 for me is Christopher Nolan's masterpiece, Dunkirk. Oh my god, this film, it has to be seen in IMAX. If you saw it in IMAX, you got the whole experience of this film. How this movie was shot, how this movie was directed, it is impeccable. You don't understand how great Christopher Nolan is as a director. And I definitely want Christopher Nolan to be the best director this year. I think he deserves it. I think it's time for him to get the award. Dunkirk was phenomenal. Nonetheless, it is one of those films that will impact you right away. And you gotta see how this film is. And like stereo sound, like you gotta see this best quality possible in order to get the real experience. And Dunkirk, every character is memorable. Every scene is memorable. And you can't go wrong with this movie. You can't.
It's number 1.
Never I thought in my million years would I have James Franco in my number 1 best movie of the year list. But it actually happened. Number 1 for me is The Disaster Artist. I am calling it right now. It is the best film of 2017. I absolutely loved everything from The Disaster Artist. From start to finish, this was my masterpiece of the year. There is no topping this film. Every scene is memorable. Every joke is memorable. Everything in this movie is perfect. I don't know how you can have anything else replaced in this movie. You can't. This is one of those films that had to be done by James Franco. He had a vision for it, and it is beautiful. It's beautiful. I absolutely loved everything in this movie. I don't get how anyone can say that The Disaster Artist is not the good film. It is phenomenal. It is a take on Hollywood filmmaking. It's just pretty much one of those films that you need to see. And ever since I saw The Room, I've been waiting to see The Disaster Artist. And Disaster Artist came out. I was like, yes, I need to see this. And I loved every bit of it in the theater. It was worth seeing in theaters. James Franco, congratulations. You had a perfect movie, Long Day Franco. You guys had a vision. You carried it through. And The Disaster Artist is the masterpiece of the year. That's why it's my #1 best film of 2017. If you guys are surprised by my list, let me know what you guys thought on the list down below in the comments. I definitely know I'll be getting a lot of comments, and I'll definitely be checking those out. So let me know what you guys thought. And with that being said, I absolutely loved watching these films in 2017. I cannot wait for 2018 and their films to see what happens there. But with that being said, thank you guys all for watching my top 10 best films of 2017. If you have not seen Shane or Joe's videos, please watch them now. And with that being said, guys, see you guys later and stay awesome. And Disaster Artist is the best film of 2017, in my opinion.